So everybody goes, why do you always sit here and take up for the state? I said, all right, well, let's come back this evening and say, maybe we can, come up with some possible defense strategy as what's to going on. So I found it, and Tanya found this to be very interesting as well when we were talking in the green room before we went live, was during the motion to compel hearing, which was yesterday, why was Ann Taylor pushing so hard for the officers and ISP officers training records? And what I came up with, which I call my O.J. Simpson defense. Now, this case to me, there's so much stuff that reminds me of, the O.J. Simpson trial. A lot of the things that have gone on, obviously, the murders happened with a knife. There were multiple people that were, their lives were taken. And there was a lot of, you had, and I'm not even comparing Bryan Kohberger's team to the Dream Team, but O.J. Simpson's, I don't think you could ever put that together again. But, I kind of reference to that.
Yeah. So I mean, they're looking good so far for being paid by the state. They're looking real good.
So what I did, and I highlighted here, if you can see the pink highlighter. So from this article, it talks about things that the defense team used to defend Simpson. And I'll read this. Let me just get to this super chat really quick. I think they're going to try it. So, $5 super chat. What they're trying to do. Hey, let me see if it works. Hang on. I don't think it's going to work. My sounds have been really messed up lately. It's probably going to be. That was from an interrogation. It's from Steven, and I forget his last name. It was a case down in Florida. And
was it the one where he killed the girl that he went to university with, and he lived near? Yeah, the curly hair. Yeah. What was his last name? Was it Smith or something? Wasn't it something like that? Like just like something real easy? I thought. I don't remember, but I remember his name was. I remember Steven. McDaniels. Yeah.
Came to my old brain and jumped in there. AC, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, man.
That's so nice.
He's like my therapist when I talk to him. He's my moderator and my therapist. It's very wise man, very educated. So
that's awesome.
We'll go back here and look. So I'm going to read from this. The Simpson defense was based largely on the grounds that evidence had been mishandled and that members of the Los Angeles police department were racist, particularly Mark Furman. And I remember when they got Furman on the stand, they basically beat him down to a pulp and found out all this alleged racist, conversations that he was involved in. A detective who allegedly found the bloody leather glove at Simpson's home. The defense team argued that the glove could not have been Simpson's because it appeared too small for his hand when he tried it on in the courtroom. In addition to the glove, the defense claimed that other important evidence had been planted by the police to frame Simpson. And I went, maybe this is why Ann Taylor wants these records of these officers to see what was their training, what were their specialties, how long were they trained for in evidence collection or interrogation, to poke holes in these officers' stories. And maybe, and I'm just speculating here, maybe in a previous case, they handled something the wrong way. Well, we'll move on. So then remember Brady Giglio. That was in March. And people are probably going, what is Brady Giglio? Well, that is some evidence of a previous case that involved officers. And officers in a previous case and officers in the King Road, in the Idaho 4 case. So as we move on, I'm sure that everybody is familiar with they call it the sticker gate or Soviet Moscow sticker gate. I'm not going to get too crazy into it. It would be a long stream to get into. But if you look, two of the responding officers in that incident was Gunderson and Nunez. Mitchell Nunez Mitch Nunez to the left, Sergeant Gunderson to the right. And I believe his first name is Shane. I could be wrong.
I think that's what it is too.
Yeah. So
They
then
look
we
so
find
young.
out. Yeah, then we find out on March 29th, prosecutors disclose internal affairs investigations of officers involved in the Idaho College murder case. Latah County prosecutors have disclosed an internal affairs investigation of an officer involved in the case of a man accused of killing the 4 Idaho students, according to the documents filed on Monday. The investigation was disclosed as a potential Brady Giglio material, the court's finding. And then I found this article that said Idaho keeps a statewide record database for police, corrections, and law officers who have decertified under Brady Giglio rulings, maintained by the Idaho Peace Officers Standing and Training Division. These infractions can range from lying, code of ethics violations, improper relations, and misdemeanor or felony convictions. And
Hmm.
then it says in 2015, et cetera, et cetera. So I think what they're looking at is to try to poke some holes in these 2 officers, because they were
Yeah.
the 2 officers, I believe, that were the 2 first on scene. And I looked this up, and this was from the I think it was Bloom. Is it Bloom? His last name Bloom.
Howard
Article.
Bloom.
Howard Bloom. Yeah.
Hmm.
So in his article, he states that Shane Gunnerson was among the first at scene after the 911 call came in. It was 11:58 a.m. on Sunday, November 13, 2022, when the notification of an unconscious person at the residence of 112 King Road, Moscow, was passed on to Sergeant Shane Gunderson. Gunderson, on that day, was midway through a 12-hour shift and had started at 6 a.m. and was running the operations division at I can't read that, at the sparkling modernistic, and it had opened barely 11 months earlier, Southview Avenue Police Headquarters. And then Nunez was there as well. And Nunez in 2021 was recently selected as a field training officer and passed his skills on as new officer. So maybe, what do you think, Tanya? They're going to try to use the probably poke some holes in.
Pro- that's probably what they're going to do. Probably they're. I mean, they're training. I, I mean, they could have. I mean, and they could have had like a sort of some sort of relationship, like in work relationship, whatever they're called, to where internal affairs was called. It could be something small like that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they pick it apart, I mean, they're gonna. And they did say that these were officers that were on scene. I think she said, or officers that had interviewed potential key witnesses.
Right, which would be Payne as well. So maybe there's
Yeah,
something there with Payne. I just found a connection.
yeah,
When we looked back, the possible could be this Brady Giglio with that whole sticker gate.
yeah.
And
Because I was kind of just left there. Like
yeah,
the Brady Giglio was kind of just no one talked about it anymore. So that
right.
I mean that makes sense that it would go back to that. So
So, I looked at, just some possible things. What is she trying to maybe do? Maybe she's trying to make the responding officers look shady or corrupt, poke some holes in their
yeah,
stories, interviews, how they collected evidence, how they walked the crime scene. They're probably going to try to make responding officers or agents look like they mishandled evidence. We
yeah,
heard a ton of that in the O.J. Simpson trial when these
mm-hmm,
ISP detectives got on the stands. Oh my God, they had a field day with them. How did you collect the evidence? How did you bag the evidence? Was it with a
yeah,
glove? Was it without a glove? I mean, they beat the tar
yeah.
out of
They
them.
did. Yeah, my
Yeah,
dad watched that trial though. I mean, like I remember it being on. I was I think 10 or something at the
yeah,
time, but my it was like we recorded it on the VHS. We were watching it. We were there for it, and they really did. I mean, they did a good job at hurting
yeah.
the
And then you
state's
make
case.
responding officers look poorly trained, and that will help cast reasonable doubt in
Exactly.
theory. So it's kind of what I came up with today. I ran this by you, like, oh wow, that's
Yeah.
really great. And now I don't have to get on the hook with everybody. I'm like, you never show anything that the defense may do.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I mean, if there's, I don't know, they have to have more. I mean, I'm thinking they have more. If they don't have more evidence, and this is all I have is like the DNA, the phone, then you have, I mean, you have to look at the totality of all of it,
Yeah.
and you have to have somebody give it to you in a good setting, not on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like in the court of law, because I feel like with YouTube, like even when you're just trying to give all the facts, like it's hard to get just all the facts.
Hey everybody, if you've made it this far in the video, I just wanted to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content today, please give it a thumbs up. Oh, also on the way out, hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on. So every time I drop a new video, you guys will be informed. And somewhere up here while I'm talking, you're probably going to see another video pop up. Make sure to click on that video as well. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.